Your assumptions create reality because the mind is the architect of experience. The way you perceive the world and the beliefs you hold shape the outcomes you encounter. Every event, circumstance, and opportunity that manifests in life is a reflection of internal assumptions, whether consciously formed or unconsciously adopted. The power of assumption is often underestimated, yet it operates as an invisible force that directs the course of life. When a person assumes something to be true, their mind begins to filter reality through that belief. This is why two individuals can face the same situation and interpret it in completely different ways. One person might see a challenge as an opportunity for growth, while another views it as an insurmountable obstacle. The external world mirrors internal convictions, reinforcing whatever a person believes to be real. This is not a matter of mere optimism or pessimism, but a fundamental law of perception. What the mind expects, it finds evidence for, and what it deeply believes, it experiences. Neville Goddard, a mystic and teacher of the power of imagination, emphasized that assumption is not just a passive thought, but an active force. He taught that to assume something is to accept it as fact before any external confirmation appears. This is not wishful thinking, but a deliberate choice to embody a state of being. The mind, when deeply convinced of a truth, will arrange circumstances to align with that truth. This is why those who believe in their success often achieve it, and those who doubt themselves often struggle. The mind influences actions, decisions, and even the subconscious signals sent to the world. One of the most compelling aspects of this idea is that assumptions dictate behavior. If a person assumes they are unworthy of love, they may act in ways that push people away, reinforcing their belief. If another person assumes they are naturally charismatic and likable, they behave in ways that attract others, reinforcing their assumption. This cycle continues endlessly, shaping every aspect of life. The assumption comes first, and reality follows. A practical example of this can be seen in those who strive for success. If an individual assumes they are capable, they take bold actions, seize opportunities, and persist through challenges. Their belief in their ability keeps them moving forward, and success eventually follows. On the other hand, if someone assumes failure is inevitable, they hesitate, second-guess themselves, and sabotage opportunities, leading to the very failure they feared. In both cases, the assumption acts as the foundation upon which reality is built. Scientific studies in psychology support the idea that beliefs influence outcomes. The placebo effect, for instance, is a well-documented phenomenon where patients experience real physical healing simply because they believe they are receiving effective treatment. This effect demonstrates how deeply the mind and body are connected, proving that what a person assumes to be true has measurable consequences. If the simple belief in a sugar pill's effectiveness can lead to genuine healing, imagine the power of assuming success, happiness, or abundance in everyday life. Assumptions also impact relationships. If someone assumes that people are generally kind and trustworthy, they approach interactions with warmth and openness. As a result, they are met with the same energy, and their experience of the world is largely positive. Conversely, if a person assumes that people are untrustworthy and selfish, they approach relationships with suspicion and guardedness, which in turn elicits defensive responses from others. This creates a self-fulfilling prophecy where their assumption appears to be true, even though it was their belief that shaped the experience. One of the most effective ways to harness the power of assumption is to practice living. This means acting, thinking, and feeling as though the desired outcome is already a reality. If someone wishes to be confident, they must assume they already are, behaving in ways that a confident person would. Over time, this assumption rewires the brain, and confidence becomes natural. This approach works in all areas of life because the mind accepts whatever it is repeatedly fed. People often wait for external validation before they believe something is possible. They want to see proof before they accept a new reality. However, the process works in reverse. belief comes first and proof follows. Those who assume wealth, for instance, begin to notice financial opportunities that others overlook. Those who assume happiness find reasons to be joyful in even the smallest moments. The world bends to the assumptions held within. This principle applies not only to individuals but to entire societies. Cultural beliefs shape collective experiences. If a society assumes scarcity, its economic structures reflect that. If a society assumes innovation and progress, breakthroughs and advancements become common. Assumption is a silent but powerful force that influences everything from personal achievements to global events. Changing assumptions requires conscious effort. The mind is accustomed to reinforcing existing beliefs, even if they are limiting or negative. To shift an assumption, one must first become aware of it, challenge its validity, and replace it with a new, empowering belief. Repetition and emotional investment are key. The more deeply an assumption is felt, the more quickly it manifests in reality. In essence, assumption is not just a passive mental activity, it is the foundation upon which reality is built. Whether positive or negative, conscious or unconscious, it shapes the course of life. By deliberately choosing empowering assumptions, a person can transform their world from the inside out. The truth is simple yet profound. What you assume, you become. You are the operant power, meaning that you are the driving force behind the circumstances of your life. Everything you experience, whether consciously or unconsciously, is a result of your inner state. There is no external force dictating your reality without your involvement. The power to change, create, and manifest lies entirely within you. While many people attribute their success or failures to luck, destiny, or external conditions, the truth is that the mind is the ultimate authority over life's direction. Understanding this principle requires a shift in perspective. People often believe that life happens to them, as though they are powerless against external events. However, the reality is that life happens through them. Their thoughts, beliefs, assumptions, and emotions dictate what they experience. If someone assumes the world is against them, they will subconsciously act in ways that confirm that belief. If they assume they are successful, their actions and mindset will align with that success. The power lies in the assumption and how deeply it is accepted as true. Neville Goddard, a teacher of metaphysical concepts, emphasized that every individual is the operant power. This means that no outside force determines one's fate, only the assumptions and beliefs held within. He taught that reality conforms to imagination, and that by assuming a desired outcome, one could bring it into existence. This idea is not about mere wishful thinking, but about understanding that consciousness creates experience. The thoughts and emotions a person dwells on become the blueprint of their life. Many people search for external validation or signs to tell them what to do. They wait for a breakthrough or for circumstances to change before they take action. However, this approach places power outside of themselves. The truth is that they must first change internally before external reality can reflect that change. If someone wants love, they must first embody the feeling of being loved. If they want success, they must assume the mindset of a successful person. Everything starts within and then manifests outwardly. This principle is evident in all areas of life. Consider someone who believes they are unworthy of happiness. No matter how many opportunities for joy come their way, they will find reasons to reject or sabotage them. Their internal state dictates their experience. Conversely, someone who assumes they are worthy of happiness will recognize and embrace joyful moments, attracting more of them. The difference is not in external conditions, but in the way they perceive and respond to life. In professional settings, this concept is equally powerful. An employee who believes they are invaluable to their company will carry themselves with confidence, take initiative, and naturally attract promotions or better opportunities. On the other hand, an employee who assumes they are insignificant may hesitate, avoid taking risks, and go unnoticed. Their assumptions shape their behavior, which in turn influences how others perceive them. Science also supports this idea. The concept of neuroplasticity demonstrates that the brain rewires itself based on repeated thoughts and behaviors. When a person consistently thinks in a certain way, neural pathways strengthen, making those thoughts more automatic. This is why changing one's mindset can seem difficult at first, but becomes easier with practice. If someone consistently assumes they are powerful, their brain rewires itself to make that belief a reality. Another compelling example is the placebo effect. When people believe they are receiving treatment, they often experience real improvements, even if the treatment is inactive. This proves that belief alone has the power to influence physical reality. If belief can heal the body, imagine what it can do in other areas of life. The key is understanding that you are in control of what you believe, and therefore what you experience. Taking responsibility for being the operant power means no longer blaming circumstances, people, or fate. While external challenges exist, how one responds to them determines the outcome. Two people can face the same adversity, yet one rises above it while the other succumbs to it. The difference is not in the situation, but in the mindset. One sees the challenge as an opportunity, while the other sees it as a limitation. To fully embrace this power, one must practice conscious awareness. Thoughts must be observed and deliberately chosen rather than accepted by default. Many people operate on autopilot, allowing old beliefs and past experiences to dictate their present. To take control, one must break free from these patterns and consciously direct their focus toward what they wish to experience. A powerful technique for doing this is assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Instead of waiting for success to feel successful, one must feel successful now. Instead of waiting for love to feel love, one must embody that feeling now. This shift in internal state creates an energetic alignment with the desired outcome, making its manifestation inevitable. This approach requires persistence. The mind may resist change at first, trying to revert to old habits and doubts. However, with repeated practice, new assumptions take root, and reality begins to shift. The key is consistency in thought and emotion. Just as a seed does not grow overnight, neither do new beliefs. But with patience and commitment, transformation becomes unavoidable. Understanding that you are the operant power is the most liberating realization. It means that no one and nothing outside of you has control over your destiny. While external events may occur, your interpretation and response determine their effect on your life. This is the secret to success, happiness, and fulfillment. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are the creator of your own reality. Imagination is the gateway to the future, the unseen force that shapes what is yet to come. Every great invention, every masterpiece, and every breakthrough first existed in the realm of imagination before becoming reality. The mind has the power to envision possibilities beyond current circumstances, acting as a blueprint for what will eventually manifest. What a person consistently imagines, whether consciously or unconsciously, lays the foundation for their experiences. Understanding this principle allows one to take control of life's direction rather than drifting through it passively. The phrase, imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions, suggests that whatever a person holds in their mind consistently will eventually become part of their reality. This idea is not just an abstract philosophy, but a practical truth observed in all aspects of life. Consider an architect designing a building. Before the structure is built, it exists as an idea, a detailed plan drawn from the architect's imagination. The same principle applies to personal success, relationships, health, and every other area of life. What is imagined repeatedly and with conviction eventually takes shape in the physical world. Neville Goddard, a teacher of the power of imagination, emphasized that imagination is not a passive daydream, but an active creative force. He taught that everything a person experiences is a direct result of their mental state. Those who imagine abundance and success tend to attract it, while those who dwell on fear and limitation unknowingly bring those experiences into their lives. The external world is merely a reflection of the dominant thoughts and images held within. History provides countless examples of individuals who used imagination as a tool for transformation. Visionaries like Thomas Edison, Nikola Tesla, and Albert Einstein relied heavily on imagination to bring their ideas to life. Einstein famously stated that imagination is more important than knowledge, because while knowledge is limited to what is known, imagination has no boundaries. This ability to visualize new possibilities led to groundbreaking discoveries that changed the world. The same principle applies to everyday life. People who consistently imagine themselves achieving their goals develop the confidence and determination needed to make them a reality. An athlete who visualizes victory before a competition conditions their mind and body for success. A musician who imagines performing flawlessly reinforces their skills through mental rehearsal. The power of imagination extends beyond artistic or intellectual pursuits. It influences everything from career advancement to personal relationships. Scientific studies support the power of mental imagery in shaping reality. Research in neuroscience has shown that the brain does not distinguish between real and vividly imagined experiences. When a person visualizes themselves performing an action, the same neural pathways are activated as if they were actually doing it. This is why athletes, performers, and professionals use visualization techniques to enhance their abilities. The more vividly an outcome is imagined, the more the brain accepts it as reality, making it easier to achieve. However, imagination is a double-edged sword. Just as positive imagery can bring success and happiness, negative imagination can create obstacles and setbacks. Those who constantly picture failure, rejection, or hardship unknowingly reinforce those experiences in their lives. Fear and worry are simply imagination misused. Instead of previewing positive possibilities, the mind fixates on worst-case scenarios, which can manifest in reality. This is why it is crucial to take control of the imagination and use it constructively. One way to harness the power of imagination is through the practice of visualization. By deliberately picturing a desired outcome, a person can create a mental framework that influences actions and decisions. The key is to engage all the senses, making the imagined scenario feel as real as possible. If the goal is financial success, one should imagine the feeling of abundance, the details of the environment, and even the emotions associated with achieving that success. The more real the image feels, the more the subconscious mind accepts it as truth. Another effective technique is assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Instead of waiting for circumstances to change before feeling happy, confident, or successful, one can embody those feelings now. This shift in internal state creates an energetic match with the desired reality, drawing it closer. When someone imagines themselves already living their dream life, they naturally start making choices that align with that vision. Children instinctively understand the power of imagination. They create entire worlds in their minds, experiencing joy and excitement without external validation. As people grow older, they often lose touch with this ability, replacing imagination with logic and limitation. However, those who retain or reclaim their imaginative abilities often lead the most fulfilling and creative lives. The most successful individuals in any field do not wait for reality to show them what is possible. They create the vision first and allow reality to follow. They trust their imagination as a guide rather than relying solely on external circumstances. This is why dreamers and visionaries often achieve what others consider impossible. They see beyond the present and act as though their vision is already real. To cultivate a powerful imagination, one must practice mental discipline. This involves guarding against negative thoughts, deliberately focusing on positive outcomes, and making visualization a daily habit. The more one engages with their imagination, the stronger it becomes. It is also important to surround oneself with inspiration, books, music, environments, and people that encourage creative thinking. The mind thrives in an atmosphere of possibility. Ultimately, imagination is not just a tool for personal success. It is the driving force behind all progress. Every invention, work of art, and human achievement began in the imagination of someone who dared to see beyond the present. By recognizing and embracing the power of imagination, one gains the ability to shape the future consciously rather than merely reacting to circumstances. Whatever is imagined with clarity and belief will inevitably manifest in life, making imagination the true preview of what is to come. Living in the end means embodying the state of having already achieved what you desire. It is the practice of mentally and emotionally accepting your wish as fulfilled before any physical evidence appears. This concept is at the core of manifestation, as it aligns thoughts, feelings, and actions with the desired reality. Instead of hoping or wishing for something to happen, living in the end requires assuming that it already has. By doing so, a person shifts their mindset, behaviors, and energy to match their goal, making its realization inevitable. This principle is powerful because the mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. When someone fully immerses themselves in the experience of their fulfilled desire, their subconscious mind accepts it as truth. As a result, they naturally act in ways that bring it into reality. Their thoughts, emotions, and decisions align with this new state of being, and the external world begins to reflect it. One of the greatest obstacles to achieving desires is doubt. When people focus on their current circumstances instead of their envisioned future, they reinforce the existing reality. Living in the end eliminates this struggle by shifting attention away from the present limitations and toward the certainty of the fulfilled desire. Instead of dwelling on lack, frustration, or uncertainty, the focus remains on the feeling of already having what is wanted. This mental shift influences subconscious patterns, guiding a person toward actions and opportunities that support their vision. Neville Goddard, a key proponent of this idea, taught that imagination creates reality. He emphasized that the secret to manifestation is assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. By immersing oneself in this feeling, external conditions eventually conform to the inner state. This process does not rely on force or struggle, but on the natural alignment of belief and experience. When someone lives in the end, they do not wait for external confirmation. They create the confirmation within themselves first. A practical example of this can be seen in career success. If a person desires a promotion, they must assume the mindset and confidence of someone who already holds that position. They begin thinking, speaking, and behaving as though they have already achieved it. This shift affects how they present themselves, how others perceive them, and how opportunities unfold. Rather than acting from a place of lack or insecurity, they operate from a position of authority and self-assurance, increasing their chances of success. The same principle applies to relationships. If someone longs for love but focuses on loneliness, they reinforce that state. However, by living in the end and embodying the feelings of being in a fulfilling relationship, they attract experiences that reflect that assumption. They naturally exude confidence, joy, and openness, which makes them more attractive to potential partners. Their belief shapes their reality, drawing people and circumstances that align with their inner state. Another powerful aspect of living in the end is that it eliminates the need for constant effort and struggle. Many people believe that they must work tirelessly to achieve their goals, but this belief often stems from fear and lack. When a person truly accepts their desire as already fulfilled, they no longer operate from desperation. Instead, they move with confidence and ease, trusting that everything is unfolding perfectly. This does not mean they take no action, but their actions come from a place of certainty rather than doubt. Athletes, artists, and high achievers often use this technique without realizing it. They mentally rehearse their success, feeling the emotions of victory before it happens. A basketball player imagines making the winning shot, A musician envisions playing flawlessly, and an entrepreneur sees their business thriving. By repeatedly immersing themselves in these experiences, they condition their minds to accept success as inevitable. This mental conditioning translates into physical performance, allowing them to achieve their goals. The science of neuroplasticity supports this idea. Studies show that the brain rewires itself based on repeated thoughts and experiences. When someone consistently visualizes and feels the outcome they desire, neural pathways strengthen, making it easier to embody that state. Over time, this new way of thinking becomes natural, and the external world begins to reflect the internal shift. One of the key elements of living in the end is persistence. The conscious mind may resist, especially when current circumstances contradict the desired reality. It is easy to fall into doubt when physical evidence does not immediately appear. However, those who persist in their assumption, regardless of what they see, ultimately witness their desires materialize. Reality always follows the dominant state of mind, but only if it is held consistently. Another important factor is emotional alignment. Simply affirming a desire without feeling it will not create lasting change. The subconscious mind responds to emotions, so it is essential to generate the feelings associated with the fulfilled desire. If someone desires financial abundance, they must feel wealthy before seeing tangible proof. If they seek happiness, they must embody joy in the present moment. This emotional shift signals to the subconscious that the desired state is real, prompting external conditions to match. Living in the end is not about ignoring reality or pretending challenges do not exist. It is about choosing to focus on the desired outcome rather than the current obstacles. Many people mistakenly believe they must fix their external circumstances before they can feel happy or fulfilled. In reality, the opposite is true. By embodying the feeling first, the external world reshapes itself accordingly. This principle applies to every area of life, whether it is health, success, love, or personal growth. Assuming the wish fulfilled is the fastest path to its realization. Those who understand this concept do not wait for proof before believing. They believe first, knowing that proof will follow. They trust in their ability to create their own reality rather than waiting for circumstances to change on their own. Ultimately, living in the end is the key to transformation. It shifts focus from lack to fulfillment, from uncertainty to confidence, and from struggle to ease. By fully embracing the desired state in thought and emotion, a person naturally attracts experiences that align with it. The world reflects what is held within, and by assuming the wish fulfilled, one takes control of their destiny. Reality is not something to be passively observed. It is something to be actively created. Feeling it real is the key to manifestation, the bridge between desire and reality. It is not enough to simply think about what is wanted. One must feel as if it is already real. Emotion is the language of the subconscious mind, and the subconscious is what shapes external reality. When a person fully immerses themselves in the feeling of their wish fulfilled, they activate the creative power within them. This is why many people struggle to manifest their desires. They focus on the thought but fail to generate the feeling. Without the feeling, the desire remains distant, an idea rather than an experience. Neville Goddard taught that assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the most powerful way to bring desires into reality. He emphasized that the subconscious mind does not respond to words alone, but to emotions and deeply held assumptions. When someone feels something to be true, regardless of external circumstances, reality begins to shift in response. This is why it is essential to cultivate the emotions that match the desired outcome before it physically manifests. Consider someone who wants financial abundance. If they constantly feel worried about money, their dominant emotional state is one of lack. Even if they repeat affirmations about wealth, their underlying feeling contradicts them. However, if they shift into the feeling of financial security, relaxing as if they already have more than enough, then their subconscious mind accepts that state as reality. Over time, opportunities, ideas, and circumstances begin to align with that inner assumption. The external world must reflect the dominant inner state. This principle applies to all aspects of life. If someone desires love but feels lonely, their dominant vibration is loneliness, and they attract more of the same. If they instead focus on feeling loved, cherished, and fulfilled, even before a relationship appears, their energy changes. This shift influences their thoughts, behaviors, and interactions, making them more magnetic to love. They no longer act from desperation or lack, but from confidence and joy, drawing in experiences that match their new emotional state. The power of feeling is evident in everyday experiences. A person who expects a bad day will often find reasons to confirm their expectation. They focus on minor inconveniences, interpreting them as proof that the day is going wrong. Conversely, someone who assumes the day will go well approaches situations with ease, noticing positive moments that others might overlook. Their emotional state colors their perception, shaping the reality they experience. Athletes and performers use this principle to enhance their abilities. Before stepping onto the field or stage, they visualize success, feeling the excitement and triumph in their bodies. Studies have shown that mental rehearsal activates the same neural pathways as physical practice. This is why elite athletes often train their minds as rigorously as their bodies. They do not just think about winning, they feel it in every cell, creating a state of certainty that translates into real-world performance. Science supports the idea that emotions shape reality. The study of neuroplasticity shows that repeated thoughts and feelings rewire the brain, making certain states more automatic. When a person consistently feels confident, their brain strengthens pathways associated with confidence. Over time, this becomes their natural state, leading to actions and outcomes that reflect it. Similarly, someone who frequently feels fear or doubt reinforces those emotions, making it harder to break free from limiting beliefs. One of the most effective ways to feel it real is through visualization combined with deep emotion. This involves not only seeing a desired scenario in the mind, but also fully experiencing the associated feelings. If the goal is a dream job, one should imagine walking into the office, interacting with colleagues, and feeling the pride and excitement of success. The more vivid and emotionally charged the experience, the more powerfully it imprints on the subconscious. Another powerful technique is scripting, where a person writes about their desired reality as if it has already happened. This process engages the imagination and emotions simultaneously, reinforcing the feeling of the wish fulfilled. When done with sincerity and belief, scripting can create profound internal shifts that lead to external transformation. Physical actions can also reinforce emotional states. The body and mind are deeply connected, and changing physical posture or expression can influence feelings. Standing tall, smiling, and moving with confidence can generate a sense of empowerment, even in difficult moments. This is why practices like yoga, dance, and physical exercise are often recommended for shifting emotional states. The biggest challenge in feeling it real is overcoming doubt and impatience. Many people try to test manifestation by looking for immediate external proof. When results do not appear instantly, they revert to old emotional patterns, reinforcing the absence of what they want. The key is persistence, remaining in the feeling of fulfillment regardless of what the physical world currently shows. Just as seeds take time to grow, desires require sustained emotional alignment before they materialize. A useful approach is to live as if the desire is already reality. This does not mean reckless behavior like spending money that has not yet arrived, but rather adopting the mindset and habits of someone who already has what they want. If the goal is success, one should carry themselves with the confidence of a successful person. If the goal is happiness, One should engage in activities that bring joy now rather than waiting for circumstances to change. Ultimately, feeling it real is about embodying the desired reality in the present moment. The future is not something to wait for. It is something to create now through thought, emotion, and belief. Those who master this principle understand that they are not separate from their desires. They are already living them internally. The external world is merely catching up. By consistently feeling the wish fulfilled, one accelerates the process, making the invisible visible and turning dreams into lived experiences. Persistence is the force that turns dreams into reality, breaking through the resistance of doubt, fear, and external obstacles. It is the ability to remain unwavering in the pursuit of a goal, regardless of setbacks or challenges. Many people give up too soon because they do not see immediate results. But those who persist understand that reality bends to the will of those who refuse to quit. Every great achievement, whether in business, art, science, or personal growth, is the result of persistence. Those who succeed are not always the most talented or the most fortunate. They are simply the ones who keep going when others stop. Resistance is a natural part of the journey toward any goal. It shows up in different forms: self-doubt, external criticism, unexpected difficulties, or even a lack of visible progress. These obstacles are not signs to stop, but tests of commitment. The universe does not reward mere wishes. It rewards conviction. Those who persist send a clear message that they are serious about their desires. The external world eventually aligns with the internal state of someone who refuses to give up. One of the biggest reasons people fail to achieve their goals is that they allow temporary setbacks to define their journey. They mistake delays for denials and obstacles for dead ends. But those who understand the power of persistence know that setbacks are simply part of the process. A person who faces rejection in business but keeps pushing forward eventually finds the right opportunity. An artist who struggles to gain recognition but continues to create eventually breaks through. The key is to stay focused on the vision, regardless of how long it takes or how difficult the path becomes. Neville Goddard emphasized that persistence is the secret ingredient in manifesting desires. He taught that once a person assumes the feeling of their wish fulfilled, they must persist in that assumption, no matter what external circumstances appear to say. Reality may initially present the opposite of what is desired, but those who persist in their belief will see their assumptions harden into fact. The key is to remain faithful to the desired outcome, even when faced with doubt or temporary failure. Scientific studies on success reinforce this idea. Research in psychology shows that those who achieve great things are not necessarily the most intelligent or skilled, but the most persistent. The concept of grit, developed by psychologist Angela Duckworth, highlights how perseverance and passion for long-term goals lead to success. Those who keep working toward their dreams, despite difficulties, outperform those who rely solely on talent or luck. History is filled with examples of persistence overcoming resistance. Thomas Edison famously failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb, but he did not view these failures as defeats. Instead, he saw them as necessary steps toward success. Walt Disney was rejected by numerous investors and told he lacked creativity before building his empire. J.K. Rowling faced multiple rejections before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. These stories all have one thing in common: persistence. The mind plays a critical role in persistence. Those who constantly waver between belief and doubt weaken their ability to succeed. When doubt creeps in, it creates resistance, slowing down the process. But when a person maintains faith in their vision, even when faced with opposition, they create an inner certainty that external reality must eventually reflect. The key is to remain steadfast, regardless of what the present moment appears to show. One powerful way to cultivate persistence is to develop a strong why. People who have a deep emotional connection to their goals find it easier to push through challenges. When a desire is merely a passing wish, it is easy to give up when resistance appears. But when the goal is tied to a deep sense of purpose or passion, persistence becomes second nature. A person who is determined to create a better life for their family, fulfill a lifelong dream, or make a meaningful impact will find the strength to continue, even when things seem impossible. Another important factor in persistence is mental discipline. The mind naturally gravitates toward comfort, and when difficulties arise, it seeks an easy way out. However, those who train their minds to focus on the end goal, rather than the struggle, develop the resilience needed to persist. Daily affirmations, visualization, and surrounding oneself with supportive influences can help reinforce belief in the goal, making it easier to stay committed. Consistency is also a crucial part of persistence. Small, repeated actions over time create massive results. Many people become discouraged when they do not see immediate progress, but success is often a result of cumulative effort. A person who improves just 1% each day will see exponential growth over time. The challenge is to keep going, even when progress seems invisible. Resistance often appears strongest just before a breakthrough. Many people quit right at the moment when success is about to unfold. This is why persistence is so powerful. It ensures that a person stays the course long enough to see results. When things become most difficult, it is often a sign that a major shift is about to happen. Those who push through these final moments of resistance are the ones who achieve their goals. Faith and persistence go hand in hand. Believing in a goal means nothing if a person is not willing to persist in it. Those who keep their faith strong, even when faced with external resistance, eventually see their desires materialize. The external world must conform to the inner state of someone who refuses to waver. In the end, persistence is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. It is the force that breaks down barriers, overcomes limitations, and turns possibilities into realities. Those who understand this principle do not let obstacles define them. They continue forward, knowing that every challenge is just a stepping stone to success. Reality bends to those who refuse to give up, and through persistence, even the impossible becomes inevitable.